Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Novelty with S&B, the book club with a podcast. I'm your co-host, Bekk. This is our August Wrapped episode and our last Wrapped episode. Starting next episode, we will be talking about the books we read in the last 2 weeks and then leave room for extra topics. This is mostly because I forget what I've read in the beginning of the month, personally. As well as, sometimes I read a little more than Stephanie does.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you had said that there's a discrepancy between the amount of books we read, and I'm like, yeah, I'm the
You're the
discrepancy.
discrepancy.
It's me.
It is a funny thing to look at, as far as I don't know, because for me, when my mental health is low, I read all the time. So you'll see that I've read more than I should have because I'm trying to escape reality or whatever. But I don't know. For other people,
Yeah.
it's that you get too busy and then it's put on the back burner.
Yeah, that's kind of like what happens with me. I just I haven't been reading as much, but it's been picking up, so I'm getting back to normal. So that's really good. I'm excited to see the new format, though. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
I agree.
Yeah, and it does make sense because sometimes I will be going over the review and I'm like, ooh, because you forget the minor details and sometimes those are important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what books did you get into?
Yeah, I read The Hike again by Drew Magary. I feel like I've talked about it 3 times now. One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. One Dark Window was our read with S&B this month. Also read The Heart of a Wildflower by D.B. Leigh and A Dawn with a Wolf Night by Elise Kova. What did you read?
So I read One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, as well as The Heart of a Wildflower, because we were both gifted that book by the lovely D.B. Leigh.
Yes.
On my own, I read Quicksilver by Callie Hart, and that was all I got to this month. Just those 3. So yeah,
and
I'm a little behind.
You just finished One Dark Window, so
like 30 minutes ago.
I know.
Yeah, I just finished it.
I'm so excited though, because it'll be interesting because you have it fresh in your mind. So
yeah.
We're going to start with The Hike by Drew Magary. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not entirely sure. It is fantasy, science fiction, a little bit of horror. I did finish it on July 28th, so technically this was before August, but it was in between our last episode and this episode. And it was on the Kindle. The plot summary is: when Ben, a suburban family man, takes a business trip to rural Pennsylvania, he decides to spend the afternoon before his dinner meeting on a short hike. Once he gets out into the woods behind his hotel, he quickly comes to realize that the path he has chosen cannot be given up easily. With no choice but to move forward, Ben finds himself falling deeper and deeper into a world of man-eating giants, bizarre demons, and colossal insects. On a quest of epic life-or-death proportions, Ben finds help comes in some of the most unexpected forms, including a profane crustacean and a variety of magical objects, tools, and potions. Desperate to return to his family, Ben is determined to track down the producer, the creator of the world in which he is being held hostage, and the only one who can free him from this path. So I think I've mentioned my disdain for book summaries before, because that doesn't give you anything of what this book actually is.
Yes, that happens a lot.
It does.
Yeah.
I had this sitting in my Kindle library, I think since last year, and it's one of those books that keeps getting recommended to me. I'll use AI to be like, hey, I need a book with this vibe, and it's like, you want this book. It has happened multiple times, but because of that description, I have not picked it up until July.
Yeah. That I hate when that happens. Yeah.
I know. And honestly, it was such a good book. I loved it. It's hard to start with an evaluation because it was a very weird book. It's more weird than my standard, which is pretty weird.
Like a fever dream or something.
Yeah. And I liked it. I like that.
Yeah.
I like when books are weird.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
like the entire time I was reading it, I had no idea what was going on next. Like most of the time I tried to, try to clue out what is going to happen next. And sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm wrong. But I had no idea what was happening next. It was crazy. I mean, the cover does give you some clue because I have the cover up if anybody's watching. Every single thing on this cover does happen. It's just how it interlinks is what's weird. Look at that. There's like a castle, there's a swan.
So random.
Like you're like, what the fuck
is this? It seems very random. I'm like, it's like a Where's Waldo picture, like what?
Right. And there is the occasional like yucky stuff happens, like gross gore, but I mean, I wouldn't say I have the hardest stomach or the most sensitive stomach, so I'm somewhere in between, and I didn't have a problem with it. So
okay, so it's probably not too terrible.
Yeah. So
sounds fun. It sounds interesting.
It's so good, dude. You should read it.
Yeah, I should. So you recommend it then?
I do recommend it. It is extremely enjoyable and heartbreaking and hilarious somehow all at the same time. I do highly recommend it. There's no eye rolls, no smice, and minor gore.
All right. Well, that sounds fun. You've been talking about this book, so I might have to.
I know. I keep talking.
I might have to have it because it looks like a lot. It looks like a lot of fun. It's just wild, and it makes the cover itself makes me curious, like for sure. And then after you're talking about it,
check, this happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's funny. I might have to check that out. So the next book we're reviewing is from the lovely D.V. Leigh. She gifted us a book with her last book.
Yeah.
We got these little packages we had to open on certain dates, and it ended with this book. So The Heart of a Wildflower by D.V. Leigh, dark romance, 209 pages, and it was an arc. I think the book is released. Yeah, it is released now though, right?
Yes.
It was like just released the 26th
or something.
6th or yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, so it is out now. But so I'll go ahead with the summary. Where is Lily? When your best friend is taken by a serial unaliver, will you stop at nothing to get her back, even if that means you have to become one of his victims? Joanna sat at the bar counter as Lily's freckled face flashed across the television screen. Every evening at this time, her smile hung just above the missing persons banner. Joanna's heart sunk further each day as she anxiously waited for the arrival of the cowboy killer Cade. Joanna has been watching him every day for the past 4 months, plotting and planning on how to become another one of his victims in order to find Lily. The problem was, she had asked for more than she bargained for. Cade, consumed by an inner darkness that can only be quelled through specific unsettling acts, he longs for a woman to yield to him, to crumble beneath his will. Despite his efforts, he has yet to find someone who can fulfill his darkened desires. Cade's trials will push Joanna beyond her wildest expectations, testing her emotional, physical, and spiritual limits. The trials will have her finding herself at a crossroads, where she must determine the worth of her own well-being in a high-stakes effort to rescue Lily. This captivating book will lead you to ponder whether you should remain loyal to your heart or allow it to be tainted by the influence of a dangerous cowboy. So, go ahead.
Okay. So, I didn't love this one. And I feel like it's just because it's not necessarily our vibe. I would say it's not supposed to have a lot of substance, right? It's a romance that is quick and easy to read. Not super easy, I would say, just quick. And I did spend more time this month with these characters because I did do some artwork for DV. I'm going to put it up on the screen here. And I did drew a few pieces. This is the safe for work version. But I do think it does personally come down to preference. I don't think this is something that I would have picked up if it wasn't sent to me. And again, like, there's got to be somebody out there that this is for, but I did find a lot of the scenes to be hard to get into because it's just not what I like. There's a lot of torture, dark elements, and I didn't have fun with it.
I wasn't really a fan of this book either, which sucks. But it's weird for me because I'll read like a splatterpunk book, and it's hard, but it is what it is. And then I'll read a dark romance, but there's a distinct difference. And like, this was too dark for me to think of Kate as like anything other than the piece of shit. So
right.
The whole romance aspect really threw me off. It's not splatterpunk by any means, but I see similar themes, except for in splatterpunk, there's a clear villain, and it's not in any way romantic. And the only way I could have seen the romance, it wouldn't even be romance at that point, working out, and it would have to be a very long book, is like if Stockholm Syndrome kicked in, but then that still wouldn't be romantic. So I had a hard time with this be called a dark romance, because to me it's not, there's no romance in it. But Kate has zero redeeming qualities.
None. Yeah.
And there's, to me, never an excuse for
this
non-consensual things. Like, in my opinion, that's just, I mean, unless you read, and it's called a romance. So I'm like, am I supposed to like,
what was that book that we read that also had a serial killer in it that we just did not like? I don't remember.
Still Beating or whatever.
Oh yeah, that one. Same thing applies. Is that like, it just, I don't love non-consensual ever.
No, I don't like it. I've read it in some splatterpunk books, but then again, it's not a romance.
Right.
So I just get confused that this is considered dark romance, because like, I do enjoy, I know you're not a huge fan of dark romance at all. I enjoy it now and then. But I like consenting partners. And I also love a morally gray male character, but to me, Kate didn't have morals. So it was just hard for me to read this and be like, where's the romance aspect? I have a lot of questions too about some of the decisions that were made. I don't want to give any spoilers away though. So and these may be things that are answered, and it is going to be a series. I'm not sure how many. Yeah, this was the first book of it though. So there could be things answered later on, because I have a lot of questions, but I don't want to get into it because I don't want to have any spoilers or anything. The one thing I will spoil is, yes, there is a lot of triggers, torture. Your mental health is important. So please proceed with caution. But I don't, the romance, it's not romance.
It didn't work for me. No.
I don't know what you'd call it, but I wouldn't call it romance at all. Because usually there's like a redeeming quality, and usually they're not that bad. So for me, I'm like, ugh. So sorry, it's not my thing.
No, I mean, I really want her, and like, this is just me trying to like poke her, but I would prefer going back to her fantasy, because I feel like those actually worked really well for us.
Yeah, I did like those. Those were, I loved those books. This was too much. I again, some people though, like, if you hear all that and it's like, I might want to read that.
You're
not
interested.
that you like,
like,
that sounds nice. But if like that's the kind of like dark romance you're looking for, just to read something with a really horrible man.
Yeah.
that there it is. That's
here
for you.
Go.
But I wasn't a big fan of it. No hate to Devi. I love her to death. This one just wasn't.
Yeah.
This one just wasn't it. That's all. And everyone's tastes are different. So
exactly.
Yeah. So for me, it's I wasn't a fan, but she has had good ratings on it. I've seen people raving about her book on her page and stuff.
Yeah. So I guarantee it's somebody's.
For us,
yeah.
I think. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What's next?
Oh, so yeah, it's me. I went.
Yeah.
So once again, I went with a TikTok, suggestion, as I sometimes do, and I went ahead and read Quicksilver, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard about, by Callie Hart. 588 pages, fantasy romance, and it was on KU. And this is going to be book 1 of the Fae and Alchemy series. So the summary: do not touch the sword, do not turn the key, do not open the gate. in the land of the unforgiving desert. Sounds like Arizona. No, that's not it.
Well.
There isn't much a girl wouldn't do for a glass of water. 24-year-old Sarah Svain is good at keeping secrets. No one knows about the strange powers she possesses, or the fact that she has been picking pockets and stealing from the Undying Queen's reservoirs for as long as she can remember. But a secret is like a knot. Sooner or later, it's bound to come undone. When Sarah comes face to face with death himself, she inadvertently reopens the gateway between realms and is transported to the land of ice and snow. The Fae have always been the stuff of myth, of legend, of nightmares, but it turns out they're real. And Saris has landed herself right in the middle of a centuries-long conflict that might just get her killed. All our dreams, right? To be thrown
Right.
into a Fae land. No. So, the first of her kind to tread the frozen mountains of Ivella, that's how I pronounced it, Ivelia, in over 1,000 years. Saris mistakenly binds herself to Kingfisher, a handsome Fae warrior who has secrets and nefarious agendas of his own. He will use her alchemist's magic to protect the people, no matter what it costs him or her.
Kingfisher, you say?
Like Kingfisher, I know. I'm like, oh, what a fun name.
That is
There's
a
this
fun name.
author. There's this author I like. So did I like it? Yes. Did I love it? No. Will I continue? Probably not.
Oh, okay.
Not in a bad way. I know I'm reading Throne of Glass soon and things like that.
I'm so excited for you.
I think I'm gonna get so sucked into that. This might get put to the side. I'm not sure though. The story, it sounds like most human girl has nothing. Fae boy has everything. Oh look, she has powers, but how? Right? It's like I have and I have no qualms with this premise at all. My issue is like there's just nothing special that like made this book stand out, because you see that premise time and time again, but if I really like the book, it's because there's something special about it.
Yeah.
And this was just very it didn't stand out. So
like something to read, basically.
Right. And I like when something kind of stands out. So I don't know, something that I haven't seen or something that like captures you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just didn't have it. So it was a good story. And I mean, I do like the whole like when they find out what their powers are. And I think that's so neat. Like there's always been a little feeling, but what is it? And then you find out, and it's interesting. Enemies to lovers, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. So, I mean, I liked the book. It just wasn't like show stopping in my opinion. It was just like, oh, it's all right. It was pretty good.
It's 500 pages. I'm not going to get back, but it's all right.
Yeah. It's long, but I liked Kingfisher. The name is fun because, well,
yeah, obviously.
Kingfisher. A lot of people were talking about how they hated his name in reviews, but I'm like, well, you need to read a lot of books recommended by us.
Right.
By T. Kingfisher, and then you appreciate the name. No.
Link to this.
I actually liked him as a character too, and a lot of people didn't. It's funny because Saris is, of course, their enemy. She doesn't like him, but she's attracted to him because he's Fae and he's gorgeous, of course. Whatever. And she doesn't know this in the beginning, but he can like smell her lust, if you will.
As Fae males do, yeah.
And he teases her all the time. And it's kind of funny. It made for some funny scenes. Like she'd be getting so flustered and she's so mad at him, but he's a Fae. So like, but she gets pissed. And then you find out, well, he can smell it. And so then she gets embarrassed because she realizes he always knew. And it's kind of funny that I liked how they went into that a little bit more with him teasing her. And like, it was kind of funny with, that was fun. So it had some fun parts. Yeah. Saris was okay. I mean, your typical FMC. She does find a fox in the book and ends up saving it. And then she decides like keeping it as her pet. And I enjoyed the fox. It was cute. Not in a bad way. Keeping it. She wants to keep the fox safe because the Fae will like kill it and eat it. And she's like, no, I love him. So
they eat foxes?
Yes. And I like the little fox that's like with her and like curls up with her and she puts in her backpack when I don't know. I like the whole fox thing. It was super cute. But cute. So to quote The Office and you, good not great. It was good not great. So recommendation, I think there is better out there. It's okay. I won't say it was like terrible, but you're not gonna be missing out on anything if you skip it. It is overhyped big time on Book Talk. So in my opinion, so take that as you will. So what do you got next?
I also read another fantasy romance.
Not a fantasy romance.
Oh no, another one? Oops. This is The Dawn with the Wolf Knight by Elise Kova. It is, what is this? Book 5 of the Married with Magic series. It is on Kindle Unlimited. It came out this month, that's why I read it, and it is 464 pages. As one of the last surviving witches, Phelan's sole duty is to keep the protective barriers on the forest where the lichen roam, creatures who can shed flesh for fur, sparing nearby humans from their violent beastly natures. When she has an unlikely encounter with a rare primordial spirit of the moon, Phelan finds herself not only the object of the Wolf King's desire, but essential to his ability to keep his crown. Taken to the magical land of Midscape, the Wolf King claims her as his bride to control the moon's spirit magic that now resides within Phelan. But Phelan refuses to resign herself to the spirit Aurora to a life of servitude underneath the king's cruel rule. Phelan hatches a dangerous plan for them both to escape, and help comes from an unlikely ally. Evander is the king's blisteringly handsome, loyal knight right hand and Phelan's sworn protector on the outside. But appearances are not what they seem. He plots against the king's brutality at every turn, and in helping Phelan escape would serve those ends. But altruism for Phelan and the trapped moon spirit isn't his only motivation. Evander is hiding secrets, and they might change Phelan's life forever. A desperate plot to escape, a brutal king, ancient powers, and a sworn protector who can't keep his hands off her. Will she be taken to the Wolf King's bride, or will she manage an escape that will free her heart and change her fate forever? It is a standalone novel for readers who love romantasy novels, second chance, long lost love, life-changing female friendships, deep lore, forbidden romance, slow burn, and a happily ever after.
Dang.
Okay. Jesus. Boy,
how was it?
Okay, so I have read all of them, obviously, books 1 through 5. I really did enjoy books 1 through 3. Book 4 kind of fell off for me. This one, it was okay. I liked, the lichen. I like wolves, obviously. I'm a wolf girl. The Weaver Witch aspect was really cool. It kind of reminded me of the book that we read last month. What was it?
Fragile Enchantment.
Yes, because she could weave magic into her thread. So the it's not up. Hold on. Cover here. The embroidery that she has on her cloak is actually like protection spells or like memory spells. So I thought that was really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, and then there's also a giant redwood tree, which interesting.
Weird.
Weird.
Yeah.
But I will say that there's a fair amount of like hand holding in this book. Like I could tell where it was going and why, and like obviously we're steering ourselves to that conclusion, which isn't terrible. Like especially if you're like new to the fantasy genre itself. I just felt like I was, being led to a conclusion instead of oh wow, the whole time, no way. But I kind of
you already saw it coming a mile away.
And I think that's probably because like in the books that we've been reading recently, like ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, there's no hand holding. You're like, you have to investigate that yourself. Like you have to remember, oh shit, she did say this. Whereas here you're just like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, it's like a lot of foot stomping.
Right.
Like, you're telling me. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it is more fun to like find it yourself though, to like, and then when that makes me want to go back and read it again. Like with ACOTAR, I'm definitely going to go back because I know there's a lot of things I did miss. So yeah, that makes it fun.
Plus I miss Rhysand, or should I say Riz?
Yeah, I miss 1 through 3 Rhysand. Yeah. Oh God, Riz. That girl called him Riz.
I know. That's what I was waiting for.
So bad. She's like, as a true ACOTAR girly, I'm like, you can't even say his name right.
You can't even say his name unless she was like goofing, but I doubt it.
go here. No, because I looked in the comments and everybody was like, why are you? And she's like,
She
oh, I'm
doesn't go
sorry.
here.
I made a mistake. I'm like, that's a big effing mistake.
That
But
is
anyways,
like,
let me not be mean. I know.
Anyway.
I don't know.
By no means are they the level of ACOTAR Throne of Glass, but if like you want books that are easy to read with very little thinking involved, but still have that fantasy vibe to them, read these. There is a few eye rolls, but that is true to the territory. And definitely spicy. But it had enough plotline to like, keep it from being boring.
Right.
So yeah,
right.
Recommend. Also, really dig the artwork. As I've been doing more in artwork, I've been noticing like the beautiful details that artists put in. I love it.
Yeah, that is cool. That is. So next is our read with S&B.
Hooray!
One Dark Window by Rachel. Is it Gillig?
That's how I've been pronouncing it.
Okay, cool. Me too. Fantasy romance, 399 pages, Kindle Limited. You finished August 2nd.
I did.
I finished today.
September
1st.
Whoops.
Well, it's taken me a while. There's been a lot going on. But anyways, so do you want to read the summary or?
Sure. It's super short, so.
It is, which is sometimes nice.
Yeah. Elspeth needs a monster. The monster might be her. Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie, mist-locked kingdom of plunder. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient mercurial spirit trapped in her head. He protects her, he keeps her secrets, but nothing comes for free, especially magic. Go ahead.
I just finished it today, and I really enjoyed it. It's so neat. The magic in it is very like unique, which I love. Never seen anything like that before. I thought it was really awesome. I like Elspeth.
I really like her too.
I do. She's reserved and quiet and kept secrets, and everything she does makes sense. With so many books that doesn't. She's just great. She's always had to be that way. So yeah. There's a lot of surprises in the book, so I don't want to give out anything, but
I mean, everybody should have read this with us.
I know. Well, that's true. Well, because I'm reading it and I'm like, oh, like something about a character will be revealed, right? And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Like things I did not see coming. So I love that there was so many moments where I was like shocked, like, oh shit, I didn't know that. Yeah, I love that because a lot of times, and there's no like, I don't think there's much foreshadowing to it, which kind of makes it nice because it comes out of nowhere, and then but then you're like, oh, and then it kind of, I guess it does kind of make it a little bit of foreshadowing, but not enough, I think, to guess. But anyways, I'm trying not to.
Yeah.
Try not to give
spoilers. There's not hand holding, but there is enough like clues in the beginning that you're by the end you're like, oh, fuck.
And then the nightmare who's in her head.
My favorite character. Yeah.
I love the Nightmare so much. Like, I really do. I love him. He does protect her though, so I mean,
he does.
So this is YA.
Yeah, that's
there's not a lot of spice, but there was one scene that was pretty dang spicy. And I wouldn't say it was raunchy or anything like some books, but I was like, wow, this is a bit much for a young reader, in my opinion. But I guess worse could be seen on TV, but still. I don't know if I wouldn't let my daughter read. If she's 14 and she reads some YA, this would be one I would be like, maybe a couple years, not right now. It was not raunchy by any means, because I know some spice you're just like, oh my god. I think it was really well written. Yeah. It was just, I think, a lot for a young reader.
Expectations of it being,
Yeah. And the god dang cliffhanger. So I just finished it and I'm like, wait, what? No. So I'll be starting to Twisted Crowns tonight. I know you already read it. I haven't gone. Yeah, I'm gonna start it tonight because I'm ready. And I really enjoyed this. The magic again with the cards is just the coolest thing ever. I liked it. So what about you?
I agree. Um, so the magic system in this book is based on a deck of cards. I'm assuming based off of like tarot cards, but they're different types of cards. There's the Maiden, there's the Nightmare, there's the Black Horse. I forget all the other ones, but
Yeah.
they all do something different, which is so cool. Like the Maiden, it makes you perfect. The Nightmare lets you read minds. The Mirror vanishes you. So it's really cool that like this is a system that exists. It's completely unique too. I've never read this.
But it's not. It comes at a cost, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
so
that's the whole thing with the magic. You can use it, but nothing is free. So I like that too.
The whole magic system, is balance is needed, and you'll get into that too, more into Two Twisted Crowns, because it goes much deeper into the why there needs to be balance. And I most of the time I find poems in books to be kind of cringy.
Not in this one at all.
And they were so beautiful. I loved every single poem in this book.
Agreed. There was another book we read with poems, and I remember I was like skipping them.
I think that was like A Stark View or something.
I kept skipping it. I'm like, I don't like this. These were so fun and good, and gave me like I think the Nightmare gave me like, I don't know, like bone carver surreal vibes, like that kind of. I that came, not that it's copying or written like that, it just gave me that kind of creature vibes. Like they would all live in the same universe somewhere.
Under the mountain.
Like he'd fit right in. Like I just, and even a little bit of Krampus, just I don't know. I just got all these fun, like all my favorite monster vibes were wrapped up into the Nightmare, and I think that's why.
Yeah, there's something endearing about the Nightmare for sure.
Yes.
Also, I really enjoyed that everybody was named after a tree. I thought that was fun? So cool. So there's a Rush song that's called The Trees. Kept thinking about that in my head the entire time, but
that's so funny.
It was so cool. And like, I know you said that there's no like foreshadowing, but part of that is foreshadowing too, which you will get into Two Twisted Crowns, which I'm so excited to hear your thoughts on that.
I can't wait to read it.
I did find myself like slowing down with this book because I didn't want it to end. Like, I didn't want to, because it's over. There's just the two. And my nephew Christian, who is a big supporter of the show, he saw something about how I forget what her name is, but her cousin is so different from her. And he's like, this isn't like I'm not like other girls situation, is it? I'm like, no, like the reason why they're comparing the two is because something happens. Like there's something that for sure. So I didn't find that there was any of the not like other girls, or Elspeth was like, special in any way. She just happens.
No, I am very, me and you both are very picky, I think, with our FMCs, and I liked her a lot. She didn't bother me.
No, not at all.
I loved her. Nothing. And I mean, if you've been listening, you know how critical we are.
Almost to a fault. Yeah,
because sometimes it's just like, oh no, not this again. But with her, no, not at all. I love the scenes with her and
Raven.
Oh my god.
That is my one cringe with, or I guess my one eye roll with this is his name is Raven.
But tell him what the Nightmare calls him.
Bird Boy. So perfect.
Makes it so fun though.
It is.
But I think their tension's pretty good though.
Yeah. And then Two Twisted Crowns, it's not all Elspeth. So you get Raven's point of view, you get Nightmare's point of view, you get Elspeth's. You get the cousins, I guess, Raven's cousin, and then Elspeth's cousin. You get their point of view too. Yeah, so it's really cool.
Oh, that's fun. Is it longer?
I don't remember, to be honest with you. It didn't feel longer.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I just feel like with all that, it may be a little bit. No, but that
I
sounds
had
fun
to
though.
read
That
it
sounds super fun.
immediately
Yeah,
afterwards.
I'm
Yeah.
starting it tonight. I got to where I like swiped, and it's like, if you want more, or whatever it does for the ad for the next
Mhm.
book, and I was like, wait, no, no.
No,
So,
I'm done.
yeah,
What?
I know I wasn't ready. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to start to Twisted Crown. So not to give, I don't want any spoilers, but overall, the series as a whole, you recommend?
Yes, absolutely.
Sweet. Okay, I'm excited.
I wouldn't say it's like ACOTAR level, but I mean, actually, maybe like a quarter, like the first book level, I would say, of
Are you
stars.
gonna buy it?
I probably should, yeah.
You were gonna buy it. That means
Yes.
yes.
I mean, I wasn't, but I think that's just because like I'm trying to. I don't know if we're staying here or not, so like I don't want to buy stuff that I'm gonna have to eventually move.
Move, yeah.
But yes, it would go. It would be shelf worthy. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I love the first one, so yeah.
Oh, I'm
excited.
The second one is so much better.
Ooh, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Oh. So,
okay.
What are you currently reading? I mean, okay, never mind. Just kidding.
I will be starting 2 Twisted Crowns tonight. So I cannot wait. It's gonna happen tonight. So what are you reading though, since you finished it?
I am reading House of Earth and Blood by our bestie Sarah J. Maas.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How is it so far? A lot of people don't like the series.
So I think what the problem is that it is set in the I guess present day. So there's like cell phones and there's computers and there's cars and guns and whatever. Okay. So it's a little like it's a step away from the fantasy because it's not like, I don't know, medieval swords and castles and but there is still like the elements. There's angels, there's fairies, there's fae, there's like shifters. So I was explaining this because I'm buddy reading it with my friend Ashley. I feel like it was good to read Throne of Glass first and then this because you get kind of like the timeline of how Sarah J. Maas's magic has existed, where like in Throne of Glass it's very like elemental, like it's very like simple magic, and then in ACOTAR it's a little more developed. It's got, there's fae and then there's some different creatures, but then you get all the way to Crescent City where there's angels, there's demons, there's daemoni, there's vampires, there's all these different creatures. So it's very interesting to see how that magic has evolved through the timeline.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I keep just like highlighting shit that I think is going to be important later. Like just in case.
Yeah, she does that to you.
She does.
Yeah.
And then like the first couple of in true Sarah J. Maas, something
once, twice
fucking happens, and then you're like, well, shit.
Yeah.
And then I would say like the first couple of chapters are a little difficult to get through because you're like, it's very immature and like you don't understand this character and how she is and why she is. But then something happens, boom, and then you're like, oh, it was just trauma forming.
Right. So is there Watery Bells?
I haven't seen Watery Bells yet, but I did see Once Twice. So and I'm not to the last 100 pages yet, so
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Anyways, that's funny. Cool though. I'm excited to hear more about it, the series. So yeah, good times. So September's read with S&P will be Evil in Me by Brahm, and it's funny because we pre-ordered this like
months ago,
forever ago, and it comes out on September 17th. I'd be forgetting about it. Like I'll go on Amazon to see like when's my package getting here, and I'm like, oh yeah, because it shows. I literally pre-ordered that like months ago. So did you? I think yeah. So and you got it. It's Brahm. You got to get that art. You know, so you got to get the book.
What did it say? I was looking at the description earlier. There is a dozen 12 artworks by him within
I'm
it.
so excited.
Oh, sorry, nearly 24 of Brahms' immersive paintings and brilliant end papers.
Even better. What a talented individual. Swear to God, his art is so dope. So
dude.
yeah. So we have that coming. It comes out on September 17th. And we will be talking about it on our September 28th episode. So come and listen. We'll be excited to talk about it. I do suggest if you get this book with Brahm, support him by picking up his book so you can get his art as well.
Yes.
So to get into it, it's an aspiring musician, Ruby Tucker, has had enough of her small rural town and dysfunctional family. But a falling out with her best friend and bandmate has killed her dreams of escaping and making it big in the Atlanta punk scene. While helping her eccentric neighbor organize his religious relics, an ancient ring clamps down on her finger, possessing her with the spirit of a bloodthirsty demon. There's no getting it off unless hundreds of people chant a spell to set Ruby free. And what's worse, the ring is a beacon for evil, drawing an unimaginably wicked mob straight to Ruby, hungry for her flesh. If Ruby can get her band back together, she has a shot at salvation. It's time for her to face the music and put her whole soul into a song, one powerful enough to raise hell. This sounds so freaking fun.
That's so cool, dude.
It's so fun. 304 pages, paranormal, super fantasy, horror fantasy. So supernatural, sorry, horror fantasy. It sounds so much fun.
So much. And in true Brahm fashion, it is in the South, Atlanta. Of
course. Yeah. I'm excited. It sounds like a lot of fun.
I know.
He's just great.
Especially since we're getting into the Burr months. I'm very excited to start.
Yes, I'm ready. My birthday's this month too.
I know. We're gonna be recording that weekend. And it's on Friday the 13th. That's crazy.
No big deal. No big deal.
It happens every once in a while.
Yeah, a couple times. My 13th birthday was on Friday the 13th, which was
really
I thought was like the coolest thing.
I mean, yeah, dude.
13. I'm so metal. I'm just like, when I was 13, I was like, isn't that cool? And everyone's like, that's creepy. I'm like, no, it's not. It's awesome.
No, it's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. So yeah, I'm pretty excited.
All right. You got anything else?
I don't.
Me neither. Cool. So I hope you guys had a fun time hanging out with us today. If you have any recommendations, thoughts, comments, let us know below. Other than that, I hope you have a great day.
Yes, me too. And this has been Novelty with SMB. See you in the next chapter.
Bye-bye.
Bye. What happened?